Most runners obsess over shoes, training plans, and pace. But there's one thing almost nobody talks about that could make your runs feel easier, protect you from injury, and make running feel almost meditative. It's your breathing pattern, and there's a good chance you're doing it wrong. Welcome back. Today we're breaking down rhythmic breathing, what it is, why it beats the default way most runners breathe, and how to actually use it starting on your next run. Whether you're brand new to running or training for a marathon, this applies to you. Stay with me because the section in the middle of this video is the part most running channels never talk about, and it might genuinely change how you experience running. Here's what most runners do naturally. 2 steps in, 2 steps out. Symmetrical, even, feels logical. You fall into it without thinking, and it seems to work fine, at least at first. The problem? Every exhale lands on the same foot every single time, and your exhale is your weakest moment. When you breathe out, your diaphragm relaxes and your core loses tension. That's exactly when your foot is slamming into the ground with 2 to 3 times your body weight. One side of your body absorbs that peak impact in its least supported state, thousands of times per run, every single run. It's no coincidence that so many runners develop the same recurring injury on the same side of their body. One knee, one hip, one IT band, always the same one. A big part of why that happens is hiding in plain sight, your breathing pattern. Rhythmic breathing solves this with one simple change. Breathe in odd counts instead of even ones. The go-to pattern is 3-2, 3 steps inhale, 2 steps exhale, 5 steps total per cycle. Because 5 is odd, each exhale lands on a different foot, alternating every single cycle. Left foot one cycle, right foot the next. The impact stress gets distributed evenly across both sides of your body. Neither side takes the full load every time, and over the course of a long run, that balance adds up to a lot less wear on any single spot. You also get a secondary benefit that doesn't get talked about enough. The longer inhale means you're pulling in more oxygen per breath cycle. Better oxygen delivery to your muscles, steadier energy, and a more controlled feeling of effort, especially at moderate to harder paces. 2 changes for the price of one pattern. Now here's the part most people miss, and honestly, it might be the most valuable thing in this video. Rhythmic breathing isn't just a physical technique, it's inherently intentional. Unlike symmetrical breathing, you cannot do it on autopilot. You have to count. You have to track where you are in the cycle. You have to stay present, and that requirement of presence is where something unexpected happens. Think about what meditation actually is at its core. It's the practice of anchoring your attention to something in the present moment, usually the breath, and returning to it every time your mind wanders. That's it. That's the whole thing. And rhythmic breathing while running does exactly that automatically for the entire duration of your run. When you anchor your attention to a rhythm, breath, count, step, breath, count, step, your mind stops jumping between thoughts. The mental chatter that normally fills a run starts to quiet. You stop replaying yesterday's conversation, stop mentally rewriting your to-do list, stop negotiating with yourself about whether you can cut the run short. Instead, you drop into a focused, present state that runners sometimes describe as flow, where the effort feels almost effortless and time passes differently. Here's why that matters so much for performance. A significant part of what we experience as fatigue during a run isn't purely physical. It's the mind amplifying discomfort signals. When your attention is unfocused and drifting, it tends to zoom in on how heavy your legs feel, how labored your breathing is, how far you still have to go. Your brain is essentially running a constant commentary on how hard things are, and that commentary makes hard things feel harder. When your mind is anchored to a breathing rhythm, that narrative loses its grip. You're not ignoring the fatigue, it's still there, but your relationship with it changes. You're no longer in a mental argument with your body about whether to keep going. You're just counting. You're just breathing, step by step, breath by breath, fully in the moment. The discomfort becomes something you move through rather than something you fight against. Elite runners have described versions of this state for decades. Some call it flow, some call it being in the zone, some describe it as a moving meditation. What rhythmic breathing does is give every runner, at every level, a concrete, structured way into that same state without years of meditation practice behind you. You just count to 5, over and over, and let the rhythm carry you. So when you adopt rhythmic breathing, you're not just protecting your joints and improving your oxygen uptake. You're also training your mind to stay calm, focused, and present under sustained physical stress. And that mental skill compounds. The more you practice it on runs, the more natural it becomes, and the deeper into that meditative state you can go. Learning the pattern takes a few sessions. Here's the most reliable way to do it. Start standing still. Before your next run, just breathe the pattern without any movement involved. In, 2, 3, out, 2. Repeat it until it feels like a natural rhythm rather than a mental exercise. This takes about a minute for most people. Then walk it. Take a short walk and apply the same count to your footsteps. Left, right, left inhale. Right, left, exhale. You'll probably lose it a few times. That's fine. Just reset and start again. Walking gives you enough headspace to feel the pattern without the pressure of maintaining a pace. On your first run with it, go slower than feels necessary. You need mental bandwidth to hold the pattern, and if you're working too hard physically, the counting will fall apart. Slow down, find the rhythm, and let the run be about the breathing rather than the pace. As your effort increases, tempo runs, race pace, hard intervals, shift to 2-1. 2 steps in, 1 step out. Still an odd cycle, same alternating exhale principle, just a tighter rhythm suited to harder breathing. Most runners use 3-2 for easy and moderate efforts, 2-1 for hard efforts and racing. Give it at least 3 runs before you form an opinion. The first run always feels mechanical. By the third, most people start to feel it become more natural, and that's when the meditative effect starts to show up too. Now, a quick word on the science behind all of this, because this isn't just coaching intuition. Research on locomotor respiratory coupling, the study of how breathing and movement interact, consistently shows that structured breathing patterns reduce oxygen cost and improve running economy. Your body runs more efficiently when breath and stride are synchronized rather than arbitrary. On the injury side, studies on impact forces and core stability show that the diaphragm plays a significant role in trunk stabilization at foot strike. A relaxed, unsupported diaphragm at the moment of impact increases the stress transmitted through the body. Rhythmic breathing keeps that stabilization more evenly distributed across both sides, every cycle. And on the mental side, breath-focused attention is the foundation of virtually every mindfulness and meditation tradition. Not by coincidence, but because it genuinely works. Research consistently shows that anchoring attention to the breath shifts the nervous system toward a calmer, more focused state, reducing the perception of effort and improving endurance performance. Your mind is not separate from your running, it is part of your running. So here's the summary. Symmetrical 2-2 breathing quietly overloads one side of your body and leaves your mind free to make the run feel harder than it needs to. Rhythmic 3-2 breathing distributes impact stress evenly, improves oxygen delivery, and anchors your mind in the present moment, turning your run into something closer to a moving meditation. Try it on your next easy run, go slow, find the pattern, and pay attention to what happens in your head after the first mile or two. Notice whether the internal commentary gets quieter. Notice whether the effort feels different. Drop a comment below and tell me how it went. I genuinely read them. If this kind of practical running content is useful to you, subscribe, because there's a new video every week. I'll see you in the next one.